As things moved on in the 90s, we eventually won a 17-year injunction that stopped logging for 17 full years. That expired in 2013, and ever since the Forest Service has been gearing up to really provide a lot of timber. And right now we're looking at almost 10,000 acres of clear-cut style logging that is proposed around different locations throughout the Shawnee. So it's really a troubling time right now for the Shawnee National Forest. We could be looking at oil and gas drilling on the Shawnee. You see, the problem that we have right now is the Shawnee National Forest is managed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Forest Service. And the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Forest Service has a commodity-driven motivation. It's what agriculture does, is produce products. And unfortunately, the products that they want to produce off the Shawnee are timber. You know, to call it cutting is almost not fair. It's more like a slaughter. I mean, I don't mean to over-dramatize it, but it really does describe what takes place. This is mechanized logging, and when these pieces of equipment go in there, the ground is churned up. Every bit of smaller vegetation, when these trees come down and these big pieces of machinery operate in the forest, they obliterate all of the life that's found in that part of the forest. So we've done litigation in the past. We've done nonviolent civil disobedience. We've tried to work for legislation to protect the Shawnee. And we've finally decided that what we really need to do is get this incredible place taken out of the Department of Agriculture and put into the Department of Interior and run by the Park Service, the National Park Service, one of the most highly respected federal agencies in the country, and have them management. They don't manage for commodity. It's so important to understand. They're not going to come and look at our forest as board feet like the U.S. Forest Service does. They're going to look at it as a functioning ecosystem. And so we want to create the new Shawnee National Park and Climate Preserve. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change made it clear that we need to start establishing more forest land, what's called afforestation. You know, we need to be planting trees where there are no trees, and we need to restore the areas that have been logged, but more importantly, we need to keep the mature forest standing, the undisturbed forest, because that is what our best ability to sequester carbon on land is. A forest is a carbon sink, so everything that's living gives off some carbon dioxide, but a forest takes more in than it gives off, which is a real key to helping solve this problem of climate change. Now, if we can establish here in the Shawnee the nation's first climate preserve, this might start something. This might start an initiative for other forests to do the same thing. The best examples we have throughout the country of mature forests are public lands. It's not in the best interest of the public to be logging most of that off. It should be protected. That's going to serve recreation, it's going to serve the climate, it's going to serve wildlife so much better. There's just no better way to do it than to leave the forest intact. And we can be the first here in the Shawnee and maybe start this cascade of new climate preserves throughout the country and move away from resource extraction. It's time for us to change the philosophy of management of our public lands, and I think the Shawnee is the perfect candidate.